Hey everybody, it's Pamela, and I know that a lot of you don't like to read blogs because it just takes too long. You'd rather watch it. And this morning when I did my Bible study, this verse just really popped out at me. So I thought, well, I'll just do a video too. Those who want to read can read my blog. Others, you can just watch my beautiful face. I'm just kidding. All right, so here's the thing. When I was reading the Proverbs of the day, which today's the 29th, so I read Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29:25 just really stuck out. And I titled this Held Captive by the Fear of My Peers. Because here's what the verse says. The fear of man is a snare, but the one who trusts in the Lord is protected. I love that verse, and it really, really just stuck out this morning because I began to think about how often the decisions that I have made or I make or the things that I'm thinking about and let just kind of take over my mind, and the words that come out of my mouth are geared more towards making those around me happy or worrying about what the world's going to think about what I say or do or who I am, rather than what God thinks about who I am and what He thinks about what I'm thinking. And so what happens is my mind, my behavior, and actually who I am and who I'm supposed to be is held captive by the world and by what I think about my peers or what my peers are going to think about me. That fear just holds me captive. But see, the opposite is true of what God thinks. Because see, the world doesn't care. It really doesn't care about who I become or what I'm doing or what I'm thinking. Especially today with, well, whatever goes, whatever makes you feel good kind of philosophy. But God does care. And He does know who I am supposed to be. It says in Psalm 139:13 and 16, it says, He created my inward parts. He knit me together in my mother's womb. I have been remarkably and wonderfully made. His eyes saw me when I was formless. All my days are written in His book and planned before a single one of my days began. That's amazing. He did that for me. He planned it. He created me. And Jeremiah 29:11 says that it says, God knows the plans that He has for me. Plans for my welfare, plans not for disaster, but to give me a future and a hope. And that's why, the Bible is written with complete direction on how we should live our lives, the way that we should think, the way that we should treat others. Because that creates that future and a hope. When we choose to live by His words, we choose to have a future and a hope. When I trust in God's promises, His provisions, His protection, I'm not held captive. I'm set free. Not to do what I want, but I'm set free to be and do all that He's designed for me. I want my kids to know that when they choose to live their life and say things and do things that the world wants, they're held captive and they'll never become what God has designed them to be. But when we choose to trust God and we choose to live our lives in a way that honors Him, we're actually set free to become everything that He has created us to be. I pray that this touches you, and I pray that not only do you want to teach this to your children while they're young so that they can not be held captive but be set free for the rest of their life, I pray that you make the choice to become set free by trusting in God's plans, His provisions, His promises, and His protection for your life, rather than what the world has to offer. Because what the world offers is absolutely empty. This is a heart-to-heart from me to you. Thanks.